So in previous lecture we have discussed in detail about the binary fission process, and I gave you an outline about what is budding. Okay, now budding as I have already told you, are of two types. If the bud, which is an extra structure which is formed on the surface of the organism, if it is present outside the body, then it is called as exogenous budding, like we see in this particular picture, figure 1.2. In case of yeast, here this is the yeast cell, yeast parent cell. Second picture, it over here, it is developing a tiny outgrowth. This tiny outgrowth is only called as bud. Now what will happen, the nucleus which is present inside the yeast, it will undergo karyokinesis, and it one part of the nucleus which is duplicated, it will be transferred to the bud. And once the bud will grow bigger and bigger in size, it will sometimes it all remaining attached to the parent cell. Sometime it may happen that the bud gets detached from the parent cell. Okay, so that individual bud will be developing as an individual organism. Okay, so this is in the case of exogenous budding, where the tiny structure like bud is developing outside the cell of the organism. Okay, now we will see another case of endogenous budding, and we will discuss it in detail. So let's start the process of explanation. So there are two types of bud. One is called as exogenous budding, which we have seen in the case of yeast. Okay, now we'll discuss what is endogenous budding. Now suppose this is a particular cell of an organism, and if the bud like structures are developing inside the organism, okay, then this is called as endogenous buds. Okay, this is called as endogenous buds. This can be seen in the case of spongilla. Spongilla is a sea organism or a sea plant, you can say, where we can observe this kind of endogenous budding, where the bud develops inside the cell. Okay, so we will see the structure of spongilla. Rub this and we will see. So in the case of spongilla, what happens? Spongilla appears like this in structure. Okay, I am showing you the rough diagram, but for exact diagram you can refer to the reference books. So this is the structure of the spongilla. This is the substratum part, and this is the body part. And here inside the spongilla there is development of small buds. So these buds are only called as endogenous buds, since they are developing inside the body. Okay, and once these buds will mature, they will be released into the water. Spongilla is a sea organism, so the buds are going to develop out inside. What is the reason the buds are developing inside in spongilla? One of the reason is the water current. Imagine the bud develops outside the body of the spongilla, then the water current is going to destroy this bud. Okay, so it will not get proper nutrition. Okay, and it will not be able to divide properly. This is the reason why in case of spongilla the buds are developed inside. Okay, and once they get matured enough, they are released into the water for further growth. Now we'll discuss the detailed structure of endogenous bud. Okay, so we will see the internal structure of the endogenous bud. Now this is the endogenous buds, if you see in the form of transverse section, it appears like this, and it is having various small mass of cells inside it. Okay, now these mass of cells, okay, they are responsible for developing the body wall of spongilla. Now what is body wall? Just like we have cavity in body wall like alimentary canal, okay, you can say internal body cavities. In the same way, spongilla is also having internal body cavities which are developed by these buds. Okay, now this is the internal structure of the endospore that is developed by spongilla. So this is this part of the bud. It carries various small mass of cells, and they are responsible for giving rise to the body wall, means the entire body of the spongilla. Okay, and then they are further surrounded by another structure. Okay, now this particular structure, the outside structure of spongilla, is a little gel like. Okay, they are gelatinous, and then there are various spike like structures. कांटे जैसा structures होता है, spike like structures spread all over in this gelatinous structure of the endospore. These spike like structures are called as spicules. Okay, and this particular structure which is giving rise to the body wall is called as gemmule. Okay, gemmule. From here only the different layers of body will develop. Okay, the different organs of the spongilla's body is going to develop. Okay, so and or you can also call it as archaeocytes. Sorry, actually gemmule, the endogenous buds are called as gemmules, and this internal structure of spongilla which develops the body wall is called as archaeocytes. Okay, so if we'll proceed to NCERT, we will see this structure in detail. So this is the structure. I am zooming the structure. You can see several small tiny masses in between. This is called as archaeocytes, and this is going to develop the entire body of spongilla, the spiral body of spongilla. Then there it is surrounded by a gel like structure, gelatinous structure, and that gelatinous structure is having various spike like structures which are called as spicules. Okay, now there is one opening which is present above, as you can see. So whenever these cells which are present inside, okay, whenever these cells which are present inside, they develop, they come out through this particular opening. Okay, so this is the structure of you can say gemmules in sponge, means endospores in sponge or spongilla. Okay, so this is an example of endospore, or you can say endogenous budding. Now we will further move and we will see what is the process of fragmentation and spore formation, because those two are also a part of asexual reproduction.